a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us. Greatly appreciate you engaging with the show, and that's the key to the whole strategy here, being that consumer advocate. We want to help you win in any marketplace. We do that by engaging. You can call in the hotline. You can hit us up on the consumerqb.com website, online at consumerqb.com. Attorney Frank Miranda in studio with us. We're going to talk a little real estate, also a little football season back. Football season's back. He's got his sports agency called For Life Management. We're going to talk about the implications of the insights into the NFL cut day and things like that coming up here. Also, maybe a little bit about the NAR settlement as well. I know you're doing some education on that coming up later in the week on as well. We got Ron Fuller in the house. He's back in studio with us. Tri-County Metals. He's business development manager for the Tampa market for Tri-County Metals, basically supplying a lot of the roofing companies out there, retail roofers, any roofers out there. You want to hear about his conversation. And then we're going to be rounding out the show with the assistant GM, Brio Tuscan Grille, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk with him about supply chain, also the latest menus and some of the specials they have going on over at Brio Tuscan Grille. Let you know, also, you are invited to our next gratitude party. Come on out and join us Friday, September 27th. It's going to be 6 o'clock. Now, we normally do our monthly events. It's on the third Thursday. We're mixing it up this month due to scheduling. We're going to have it on the Friday there. So Friday, September 27th, 6 o'clock, over at the Tarpon Turtle. It's a waterfront restaurant on Tarpon, Lake Tarpon there in Tarpon Springs. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. We're going to have great networking, fellowship, and awesome time. Come on out and join us. And Alex, we always like to see our listeners, our show partners, real estate clients out there. It's always a good time, man.
Definitely. I love anything that involves me having good conversations with people and crab cakes. So
there you go, crab cakes. Some got the grouper over there too. Excellent food. We're gonna have the boat out there, by the way, too. We're gonna have a couple boats. That's also
cool. I like boats too.
Boat cruise. See the sunset out there with us, and come on and join us Friday, September 27th, 6 o'clock. Lake Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs. Come on out and join us. That's the Consumer Quarterback Show's monthly gratitude party. All right, a couple of hot listings here. As you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top team at Keller Williams. We always feature our listings on air, and we have 90 pre-construction luxury condos in Gainesville, Florida. We're going to be at the big game this weekend. Miami Hurricanes coming into town. Into Gainesville, going into the swamp. But this one's a great condo at 3101 Old Archer Road. What we have here is, this is Unit 209 that we're displaying on the screen if you're watching our YouTube channel, Rumble channel, or maybe some of our other content. But what we've got is 90 pre-construction luxury condos. You have short-term rentals approved, of course. Yeah, so if you're a parent, you got a kid going to school up at UF, you might want to buy this, rent it out to them, and then you have an investment that you can hold on to for many, many years and keep renting it out. You're only 1 mile from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. You have high-end luxury amenities in the building, state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons. You got resort-style, temperature-controlled pools, gourmet chef kitchen in the clubhouse. Great opportunity to own real estate here. Old Archer Road in Gainesville, Florida. A beautiful property from the Platinum MVP team. Also, 719 7th Street North. This one's in St. Pete. This is a great opportunity close to downtown. You're still close proximity to the beaches. Pinellas County, one of the best places to live, work, and play in Tampa Bay, and also the state of Florida for that matter. You got a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, plus a bonus room, 1,300 square foot single-family residence here on 7th Street North, St. Petersburg. Close to downtown. You got real wood flooring, high ceiling, stunning fireplace, porch, kitchen, back room were refinished back in 2016. So you got some recent updates there, and you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, attorney Frank Miranda, welcome back in, sir.
Thank you for having me back in, Brandon. How you been?
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Blessed and highly favored, I always say, and Can you believe it's football season? It's like, man, we're in the second half of the year. We're like rolling into the holidays before you know it.
Hey, man,
what say you, man? What have you been up to?
What I say is the older you get, the faster time goes by.
It does, doesn't it?
Truth.
Man, I figured that out in my 30s. I was like, wait, it seems like things are going faster. Now I'm in my mid 40s, and I'm like, whoa, man, slow this thing down.
Yeah, let's
a little
slow
bit.
this thing down because
Yeah.
we're over halfway down that hill already.
Exactly. That's right. We're on the hill. Frank Miranda in studio. So if you don't know Frank, he owns a law firm. He's a litigator. He'll go to court. He'll defend you in court. He also owns a title company. So we talk a lot about real estate here when we have Frank in studio. Let's start with the real estate side, and then we'll go to the little bit more fun stuff in some cases, the football side. But the NAR settlement, that's been the big news lately. We're seeing, through Keller Williams, our brokers are coming out with different strategies and ideas. Especially one of the biggest things I see is the EBBA, that exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. I think that's that's one of the things that kind of land in our favor as realtors, because traditionally you'll have people call off of the internet and say, hey, I want to see this property. When can I see it? I want to see it fast. I don't want any questions. Just show me the property fast, right? I mean, that's the life of a realtor in some cases. Now you do get people that, of course, are nicer, a little bit more flattering and willing to listen to the process of buying a home. But this exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, now they have to sign that. Otherwise, it's like, hey, what are we doing here, right?
Yeah, and so this is kind of a settlement with a NAR where real estate agents and everyone in real estate in general effectively was questioning what's going to happen, right? And I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think this is absolutely beneficial for realtors. I think it's actually beneficial for buyers in a regard, because what happens is a buyer would go ahead and look at 50 houses with a real estate agent, and that's a lot of time.
Yep.
And one, they weren't really serious or convinced they were going to buy anyway.
Right.
Okay, so they disappear. They have no allegiance to all the work you put in. You're
Yep.
out for all that time and expense on gasoline. Forget about the gas. The time you spent. If you paid yourself at $10 an hour, you would have lost out on $4,000 you spent with these people.
Yep.
And so it makes the buyer realize, am I really serious about buying or not?
Right.
And if you put the money down with the real estate company and you say, yep, this is the person I've selected to represent me in this transaction, I'm going to put some money down, and if I happen to walk away, I'm going to lose this money. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it makes you responsible and makes you realize that, hey, someone else's time is just as precious as yours.
Yep.
You might have a fantasy about buying a property, but you don't have really a reality about buying a property. No one's qualified you for anything.
Right.
And so I think it forces people to be responsible.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then also another conversation that's come out has been around open houses. So when you're going into an open house, people just willy-nilly just say, oh, I'm going in this house. I'm going to go see this house. I want to see the floor plan. I want to see the furniture, the interior design, however. But now, at least at Keller Williams, our brokerage, we're saying if you want to come into the home, you have to sign in. Something as simple as asking somebody to sign in is now part of the mandatory process.
And again, I think that's a good thing. You have people that show up at these houses, and if you're fortunate enough, you might have more than one group there looking at the piece of property, and people are just going through the property. You don't know who they are. You don't know if something's missing from the home. You can't go back in a list because they never signed up to see who may have taken a certain item.
Yep.
So again, I think it makes things responsible.
Yeah.
In some regard, is it more formal? Yes. Is there going to be more paperwork to fill out? Yes. At the end of the day, I think, is it better? For one, if you think about it, the safety of the home, the safety of the realtor who's coming in and out. There's certainly more of a value placed upon your profession because people aren't taking it for granted. It's just something for free.
Right.
And so I think, and when I look at it at an overall situation, I think it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Yeah. We're talking with attorney Frank Miranda here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon BRimes. And also, we talk about fraud, title fraud, and other issues, scams. Have you seen any new developments there or perhaps anything that comes to mind?
So it does happen. I can give you some examples as to why people want title insurance, need title insurance. What is title insurance? So effectively, title insurance, a buyer receives, the way the contract's written up, a title insurance policy typically paid for by the seller in this area, and that policy protects you against any claims against your ownership that someone else may make. up to the value of the house. And so how can that be? Well, we had a situation, we caught it beforehand, where Jane Doe had a piece of property in, I think it was Punta Gorda, Florida, and she entered a contract to sell the property. Well, Jane Doe owned the property, but there was more people named Jane Doe. And so when you looked at all the identification, it matches the seller's name. Well, fortunately, upon deeper inspection, we found some other identifying factors. We found a birth certificate. We found not a birth certificate, a birth date, and some other things that didn't match Jane Doe that was showing up to sell this piece of property. It was complete fraud.
Yeah.
And so in that case, we prevented it before the closing. But had that property sold, they would have received a title policy. And when the real Jane Doe realizes, hey, I didn't sell this piece of property.
Right.
She wants it back.
Yeah.
And so that policy helps pay for fixing the problem.
Now, was that vacant land?
It was vacant land, which
yeah.
happens
Vacant
a lot.
Yep.
But it's happening also. It's also happening on houses too, particularly older people that maybe have paid for their house.
Yeah, or out-of-state owners.
Or they're out-of-state owners, and unfortunately, when you record something in the public records in Hillsborough County, they don't verify anything. It's not their job to verify anything, so they just record it.
Right.
And so I've actually seen people create fake contracts, record them, try to cloud title on the property, then hold you hostage because now you can't sell your property, and they want some sort of payment.
Right. Yeah, that's it's an interesting area of real estate, especially with vacant land. Vacant land makes it so much easier to perpetrate these frauds, and we've seen that happen over the years. Football season's here, Frank. It's an exciting time, man, especially for you now being a sports agent. And what a cool opportunity also to work with Luke, your son, right?
Yeah,
coming out of school, and that's kind of his passion, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and to see someone in their early 20s and they just have a passion for what they do, and they do it the right way, meaning they're not sitting around waiting for the grass to grow under their feet. He's out there, marketing players, talking to scouts, talking to front office personnel, working with logistics and trying to get players from point A to point B. There's a lot to be done that's behind the scenes that you don't see in a movie or you don't see in a documentary. Dealing with their day-to-day issues about simple things about which bank. I'm in a new city. Which bank do I go to?
Yeah.
I'm not with a national bank. I need to get set up. So it's going all the way from A to Z. It's equivalent, I think, to sending your son or daughter to college and setting them up.
Yeah.
When they go somewhere. So the sad thing about the business is it's not for long. And so today, by 4 o'clock, roughly 930 players are going to get cut from a team from the entire NFL.
Yeah.
Now, what's really gut-wrenching is if you happen to make the team that day, well, they still have an opportunity to scout other players from other teams that they got cut, and so they may like a player better than they like you.
Yeah.
So even though you made the team today and you exhale,
sure,
tomorrow you're out because they picked up somebody else that they like better, and you're on the street.
Yeah.
And so it's really a tough business to be in because unless you're one of the guys with a guaranteed contract, which in the NFL, it's not very many, you are vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes you get cut and you might be the better player. Sometimes it's financial reasons.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay you as much.
Family need or the team need comes over the athlete that may be at a specific position. So you might the example.
Yeah, and if you're the last guy on the roster or close to the last guy on the roster, and let's make up a position. Say you're a linebacker.
Yep.
And they have they're going to take 7 for some reason, but they like somebody else that plays backup offensive lineman better.
Yep.
Because they need offensive linemen because someone got hurt the last week of practice.
Yep.
You might have made the team initially, and then they see this guy on waivers. They take him up and they cut you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man. That's how it is. NFL, like you said, not for long. You're not in these games. What's the average life of an NFL player? 3 to 5 years,
I think
like that?
It's less than 3 years.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. So let's take a quick break there. More with attorney Frank Miranda coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, recent win. We're going to talk with him about an appeal that came back in his favor. A recent win with attorney Frank Miranda on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel-good story of the day as well. Everything went right, says dad who lost his wedding ring on the highway while delivering newborn. in backseat. So feel good story coming up here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Lindsay Rhymes here with Archer Place in Gainesville, Florida. Our luxury condo community is located only 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. Our buyers love the high-end luxury amenities in their building, including a state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons, the resort-style temperature-controlled pool accompanied with cabanas and grills, and the gourmet chef's kitchen in our clubhouse that overlooks the pool. We have pre-construction pricing only for a limited time, with floor plans ranging from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath to 2-floor penthouses with plunge pools. Starting in the low 400,000s to the high 900s, investors, parents sending their young adults off to school, medical professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs alike are investing in these residences. Reach out to us today at 727-263-3707 to get more information.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Frank Miranda in studio with us. More with him in just a moment. Before we do a couple of hot listings here, we always feature our listings on air. List with the Platinum MVP team for maximum exposure. Gulf Boulevard. We got a property on Gulf Boulevard. This one is on the beach. I love this property because you can short-term rent it. There's no restrictions there for short-term rentals, and it's got very low HOA. It's only $250 a month for the HOA. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet, beachfront condo in Indian Shores. You got private 2-car parking, granite countertops, mosaic backsplash. Too many upgrades to list here on the show. But a great opportunity in Indian Shores. It's Unit F, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, Indian Shores. 4931 Northeast 22nd Terrace in Ocala, Florida. This is a great opportunity to own property here in Tampa Bay. The northern part of our listening audience, you get a little more value up there in Ocala. This one's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2,000 square feet. Highly sought after neighborhood with no HOA. You have a wood-burning fireplace there. You're close to the World Equestrian Center, shopping, schools, and parks. And you have a great opportunity here. It could be a possible rental property for you in Ocala. 4931 Northeast 22nd Terrace. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout out to Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay, heightssoftwash.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, pressure washing for your real estate commercial properties, heightssoftwash.com. His name is Ramin. He's a great owner. I've known him for many, many years. He does a great job on our properties, heightssoftwash.com. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, attorney Frank Miranda in studio with us. You've got an appeal that came back in your favor, and you are one of the attorneys here that will actually go into the courtrooms. Many attorneys advertise as they do, but they don't, from what I hear through the grapevine. But yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I tried a case. I think it was January of 2024, and I think the judge issued a ruling. It wasn't a jury trial; it was a bench trial, and I tried both. So some people don't, but I'll try both. And I got the ruling probably 3, 4, 5 months later, and then they automatically appealed because fortunately I got everything I asked for. And so the appellate court, after sitting on it for 8, 9, 10 months, finally ruled in my favor, saying everything that the trial court did was correct. There was nothing done incorrectly. And so the judgment amount is probably around $230,000 without interest, and attorney's fees are going to be tacked on of about another $200,000.
Wow.
And so there was a bond put up. And so procedurally speaking, if you get a judgment against someone, you have the ability to go after that money immediately. If they want to prevent that during the term of the appeal, they have to put up a bond for that amount.
Wow.
Plus 10 or 15% more. So we're going after the bond, and then we're going to go have a hearing as to what would be a just and correct attorney fee to compensate for our services. And so we get to tack that onto the judgment, and we're going to clearly surpass the amount of the bond. So what happens next is I get to depose this individual and ask where all his assets are.
Wow.
And go try and collect.
Wow. Yeah, that's a worst case scenario for that person.
Well, they really turned a $180,000 to $230,000 problem into a $400,000 problem.
Wow.
But they were always the type of person that doubled down on everything, and they were adamant that they were going to beat me. They were adamant that no money was owed, and there was clear evidence to the contrary.
Wow.
And so, sometimes you get what you deserve.
Yeah. So, and when they're going through that process, do they not know that you have some of that evidence?
Oh, they know.
They know.
They know. And even in mediation, I show it again.
Huh.
So if I have an ace, I play it. And so they clearly knew, but they were adamant that somehow they were going to win under their theory, which I thought was far, far flung.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the appellate court also did.
Yeah.
And so, based upon, I think it was a misplaced belief. I also think the individual was the type of person who was very successful when it comes to business, that, no one's going to tell him what's to do, and I'm not going to change his mind, and that's fine.
Sure.
You went your day in court, let's go.
So ego got in the way, it seems.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Frank Miranda in
So
studio
if you hear
with
me
us,
down there in South Florida, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, that's right, man. What are some of the common misnomers that you have? We just have about a minute and a half here. What are some other questions that you get, Frank, on a daily, weekly basis? What are some common misnomers?
So generally speaking, people don't understand how long it takes to get through the process. And so when I talk about the process, when there's litigation filed, there's so many things that take you off course. Number one, the court's availability.
Yeah.
And so getting time in front of the judge for a motion or something you need to ask the court for, or even getting responses from the other side when they don't give them to you, it's hard to do. And so, in life, when you want the cable guy to come, we're upset if he's not there in a week. We're upset now if we don't get money, we don't get our food delivered to us by Uber within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Litigation takes, if it's, real litigation, it's going to take 2 years plus.
Wow.
And
the
so
courts are backed up.
it takes time. Just takes time to schedule between my calendar and the other side's calendar just for depositions.
Is it mostly in person now? Or are you back to Zoom?
No, if you have a trial, it's mostly in person. If it's a big hearing, it's in person. But 90% of what takes place for a hearing that takes less than an hour, that's done by Zoom, which actually saves my clients a lot of time and money because I don't have to travel back and forth, go through security at the courthouse, find a parking space, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So it literally saves an hour and a half a day.
Yeah, that's great. Best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, you can call my office at 813-254-2637. Or you can look us up on the web at www.fcmlaw.com.
FCMlaw.com. Frank Charles Miranda in studio with us. Frank, thanks for coming in, man.
Hey, thank you, and thank you for sharing those good stories, and those random acts of kindness are very cool and very needed these days.
I love it. Absolutely, man. All right, check him out online, Frank Miranda, FCMlaw.com. Also on our website at consumerqb.com as well. Coming up, Ron Fuller, he's a business development manager with Tri-County Metals coming up. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Everything went right, says dad who lost his wedding ring on the highway while delivering newborn in backseat. Feel-good story of the day coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Ryan.
All right, we're back here in studio. We got Ron Fuller, my friend Ron Fuller in the house, business development specialist, manager for Tri-County Metals. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate and construction here coming up on the show. And also later on in the program, we've got Bryan Buckenheimer in studio with us as well. He's the assistant general manager, works with Chef Oscar and Joey over there at Brio Tuscan Grille. We're going to talk with him as well coming up here on the program. Before we do, a couple of hot listings. You know, we like to feature our properties on air. Our strategy works. It helps our sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of their real estate properties. Less headaches, less marketing time. And we do that through our unique innovations with radio, TV, and internet marketing. 5198 40th Street South. This is St. Pete, Pinellas County. Beautiful property here. Renovated property in Pinellas County. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage. You got 3,000 square foot, beautifully renovated interior. You have a screened-in back patio, spacious living room, and open floor plan. You're located in the heart of Maximo Moorings. You're close proximity to the Tiki Docks at the Skyway Bar. And, of course, nearby beaches, downtown St. Pete as well. Easy access to I-275 and Eckerd College. 5198 40th Street South, St. Petersburg, Florida. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 221 Howard Drive, one of my favorite listings right now. This one is compliments of Aaron Foley on the Platinum MVP team. We've got 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot single family home on the exclusive Bel Air Beach location. Historic Drive boasts one of the largest or one of the highest land elevations in the area. You're 1 block to beach access. You've got 100 linear feet of water frontage. So make sure you bring your boats and your jet skis and your kayaks and enjoy that Florida lifestyle. You got a saltwater pool, gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances as well. 221 Howard Drive right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout out to Lee's Royal Services. I got to give a shout out to Lee. He does a great job. He and his team, they come in, they clean your real estate properties. They're in and out in less than like an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. Home and office cleaning, Lee's Royal Services, handyman services as well. Lee'sRoyalServices.com does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Lee'sRoyalServices.com. And thank you for supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. All right, we got Ron Fuller back in studio, Tri-County Metals. Welcome back, sir.
Brandon, always great to be here. You look really nice today. You have a tie?
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm mixing it up a little bit. You know?
Nice tie. I've got my shirts. I've got all green polo shirts in my closet.
Yeah.
So I'm always spot on, ready for you.
There you go. I love it, man. Got the Tri-County Metals. Tell us a little bit of background on Tri-County Metals and your involvement.
Oh, sure. So Tri-County Metals, Ollie, we've been in business a long time. We've got over 170 employees. We have our manufacturing in Trenton, Florida, not New Jersey. Yeah. So we're just north of Gainesville. And then we also have manufacturing. Our grand opening is September 6th. For our Okeechobee manufacturing plant, and we have 9 branches all over the state of Florida. So
nice.
It's convenient. If a roofing contractor needs an extra, something he's missing, he can just run right to our branch and grab it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's an American success story right there. I love that. Manufacturing in the good old US of A. You're creating jobs. I love that story.
Yeah, so the manufacturing, the steel comes from the good old Midwest, Indiana, and American company. Sherwin-Williams is the provider of the finishes, so it's all homegrown.
Yeah, that's high quality stuff right there.
Yeah, and we're proud to be a Florida-based company as well. So as I mentioned in the last show, we're not looking at P&L statements from out of state. We're looking at the faces of our contractors every day. And Florida is our base. Although, as things grow, I'm sure we'll grow outward. Because in Florida, unless we're going fishing, you can't go anywhere but up.
Yeah.
But we are looking forward to growing.
Yeah, I love that, man. And so you work with a lot of the retail roofers, the installers. You're working in that capacity.
Correct. So we manufacture and provide the material. So it's the roofing contractors that are our customers. Although we do have individual homeowners that contact us, and we can get them in touch with a good installer in their area. But we provide the materials. We're not actually installing the materials.
Yeah, that's right. So there, in the industry, you have 3 choices. You've got shingle, you've got, of course, the metal roof, And then you have these, these tile roofs, or these. Some people call them terracotta tile, or different clay.
Yeah, people tend to call them different things. They consider them clay or terracotta. Most of the tile that you see is actually concrete.
Okay,
it's a concrete product that is made to look like terracotta. There is a genuine clay tile. It's very exclusive. You really have to have the technique to install it correctly.
Yep.
So once in a while, you'll actually be looking at real tile. Typically, it's concrete.
Yeah. And those there's a lot of delays in getting those and that product. That was one that we saw with the China virus. That was a huge delay to get those available.
Yeah, it sure was. I can remember 6-7 months. The underlayment, or the product that's on the roof before the actual tile, is really what waterproofs the roof. But they have an exposure rating, so you can't go past a certain point of time. Sometimes it's 90 days, could be 60 days, as much as 6 months. So yeah, you actually risk having to re-dry in your entire roof during those times. That was pretty rough.
Wow, yeah, that's a challenging time. So talk to me about the benefits of metal. Why would a homeowner or a business owner want to choose metal?
So, do you remember Fire Marshal Bill?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Jim Carrey. Does anyone do a good Fire Marshal Bill?
Let me tell you something.
There you go.
Everything here's a hazard.
So Fire Marshal Bill, he's going to
that.
want to talk about fire safety, but that's for a different show.
Okay.
So one of the things that old Fire Marshal Bill would say, hold it right there, mister. And I want to hold it right there, mister. People say, well, metal roof's more expensive than shingle.
Okay.
So let's actually talk through that.
Yeah.
So initially, say buyer A buys a metal roof. And let's say buyer A spends $25,000 on his new roof. Buyer B says, oh, no, I can get a shingle roof for $15,000. Well, on the surface, it seems as if buyer A got the better value, but I'm going to show you that's not the truth.
Right.
Hold it right there, mister.
Yeah.
So, first of all, an average air conditioning bill, you're going to save about $50 a month. So what is that? That's $600 a year. I actually have my notes. $6,000 in 10 years. In 30 years, that's $18,000 if you save $50 a month on your electric bill. Now, my question is, will your electric bill be 10 years from now the same as it is today?
Correct. Right. No.
Or 5 years from now?
Right. It's going up.
Right. So let's just say, as Fire Marshal Bill would say, you have 3 roof replacements with a shingle roof versus a metal roof. Today, let's say a shingle roof is going to be $15,000. How much you think 10, 20 years from now is it going to cost? Probably going to be more, right?
Yep.
Well, let's just assume it's the same, that I can buy a shingle roof down the road for the same cost I could do today. 3 of those is $45,000.
Yep.
Versus $25,000.
Right.
But I've also been saving on a monthly basis my electric bill.
Yep.
I've also been better to the environment. Every time you replace a roof and you tear all that shingles off and all that goes into it, that's a tough dumpster run. There's a lot of material. Not a lot of it can be recycled. By the way, steel's recycled and recyclable. I mean, it's brilliant. But let's also talk about the fact that I save maybe 35% on my insurance. So an insurance company says, oh, great, here's a home with, this has got metal roof. Well, this is what it's going to cost you. So I saved on my insurance. I've saved on my monthly utility bills. And I've just simply saved money. We said $45,000 versus $25,000 as an example. Now, that's assuming, remember, that it didn't go up at all.
Yeah.
That I could replace my roof down the road for what I could today.
Right.
Now, what about you're talking to a customer and they know they have to replace their roof in order to sell their home. Well, they would say, well, I don't want to spend the money for metal. Let me just replace it with cheap shingles and call it a day. Well, first of all, there's an average of 6% value increase on a home. So on a $300,000 home, metal roof, what is that, $18,000?
Yeah.
Whew, I'm doing my math pretty good, right? So you've increased the value of your home. You've also increased the chances of selling that home quicker.
Yeah.
because when buyers are making their decision, they've gone to maybe their top 3 choices. Well, we really like the backyard, and Susie liked the bedroom, but this home had a metal roof.
Yep.
So it's an advantage. It's almost embarrassing how much better metal roofs are. It's just,
nice.
Yeah,
it is a nice, and that's the number one reason why people don't go that way is just because of they're looking for the shorter term, and they're thinking the more affordability, right? Is that
sure?
With the shingles.
Now let's talk another number, since I'm scoring pretty good on my math. Let's say it's $10,000 more for me to go with a lifelong metal roof versus shingle.
Yep.
$10,000. What is that? About $5.82 a month on my mortgage.
Okay.
So if I am looking at a home that has a metal roof, it's a little more expensive than a comparable home without a metal roof. We decided that was around $6 a month on my mortgage payment.
Yeah.
But don't forget, I'm saving $50 a month on my electric bill.
Good point.
So the reality is, it is a much more affordable, better value, better play for you to get the superior metal roof.
Yeah. It really is. That's a good case, because people really need to consider all those different aspects: the savings, the taxes, the financing, savings there as well. So that's really a good case there, Ron. TriCountyMetals.com. We're talking with Ron Fuller. He's the business development manager in the Tampa market. TriCountyMetals.com. TRI. CountyMetals.com, working with local roofing companies. So if you have a roofing company in your family or in your friend database, reach out to the show. We'd love to put you in touch with Ron. 727-263-3707. You can call or text that hotline. We'll put you in touch with Ron Fuller, Business Development Manager for Tri-County Metals. And that way, that roofer is going to thank you as well for putting them in touch, because Ron Fuller can help them save time and money when it comes to the business and getting the metal roofs. You can reach out 727-263-3707. Call or text that line. It's an off-air number. And Ron, final thought. Back to you, man.
Final thought. Well, you know what? I'm going to go off the subject of roofs and metal.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A.
Okay. All right.
In fact, I think when there's traffic reports, traffic jams, they need a Chick-fil-A traffic jam.
Okay.
Because wherever you're like, it must be a Chick-fil-A because traffic's backed up. They're doing something right.
Yeah.
And God bless them for keeping their values. They're closed on Sunday, and yet they're wildly successful.
Yeah, number one. I think they are number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
They have a new thing they're doing. They're going to roll out, instead of having a drive-through with the kitchen on the ground floor, they're going to put kitchen above ground.
Wow.
And have multiple drive-throughs under the building.
No way.
Like a toll road.
Wow, that's interesting.
Now, the reason I bring up Chick-fil-A is they have impeccable service.
Yep.
When you go in, they treat you great. It's clean. The food is always spot on. They say, how can I help you?
It's my pleasure.
My pleasure. Tri-County Metals. We had a customer that we saw that we needed to help them out. Big building, big project. We took an entire Friday. I took somebody out of corporate, and I also took somebody out of the field, one of our leading expert who does our training. We spent the entire day on Friday to look at this project and help the contractor with the upcoming buildings he had to work with. Not only did we not get in trouble for taking a Friday to help this customer, but our office encourages it.
Nice. That's cool, man.
We're all about service.
Service. I love that.
Yeah. We don't have waffle fries, but we'll treat you right.
There you go. I love it. Ron Fuller, check him out online, TriCountyMetals.com. That's where you can find him. Ron, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it. Good stuff today. All right, taking a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk with Bryan Buckenheimer. He's Assistant General Manager, Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk a little bit about the menu, some of the specials they have going on, catering. They have event space there as well. Lots of good stuff coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Everything went right, says dad who lost his wedding ring on the highway while delivering newborn in backseat. Feel-good story coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
All right, we're back here in studio. We got Bryan in studio with. He's visiting us from Brio Tuscan Grill, just right across the street, by the way. He's over there at the International Plaza Mall Excellent food, wonderful ambiance, very friendly wait staff. Such a great time over there when we have our parties and events and just going in for lunch or whatnot. Awesome time. Check out Brio Tuscan Grill and make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, here's our feel-good story.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we have Danny Mahota experienced a dramatic day when his wife Rebecca went into labor during a drive to the hospital. As her contractions intensified, Rebecca gave birth to their daughter, Summer, on the side of a highway near Cape Cod. After safely arriving at the hospital, Mahota realized his wedding ring had slipped off during the delivery. So days later, he miraculously found that the ring was right on the side of the road, right where he had pulled over. Reflecting on the event, Mahota emphasized how everything could have gone wrong, but went right, and advised expectant parents to trust their instincts on their way to the hospital. So, feel good story of the day, Alex. That's a good one.
That's a beautiful one, man. And then the fact that he on the highway found the ring.
Yeah.
Like, the odds of that happening, let's be honest, are very, very slim. So there was some divine intervention there. I'd say.
Yeah. And what about the story now? They got a great story. So, Bryan, welcome in, man. Your assistant general manager, Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza.
Yep.
I always say excellent food, wonderful ambiance,
Thank you
and
so
just
much.
a very friendly staff over there, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to see you outside of the restaurant.
Yeah, likewise. And you got banquet season coming up, so people don't realize when you walk in, you've got this awesome downstairs, but you've got lots of room upstairs for events and parties and all types of fun stuff.
Yeah, we have 4 rooms upstairs. We can seat anywhere from 15 people to over 100 people, depending on your party. We accommodate to pretty much anything. You can get in contact with the restaurant. We can give you information. We work with the regional sales manager for bookings and things like that, but be sure to do it early. The holiday season's coming up. A lot of people do banquets for business things as well.
Yeah.
So the earlier the better, because we fill up extremely quick.
Speaking of early, you also have happy hours going on daily, right?
Yes, exactly. We have our happy hour burger, calamari, caprese, carpaccio, all for $7, and you just can't beat that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Get a burger for $7
exactly.
too over there, right?
Yeah, I mean, the quality is absolutely there, especially for the price point. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
So, we appreciate people coming in. It's definitely a good cocktail hour. So 3 to 7 every during the weekdays.
3 to 7 weekdays. Go to Brio Tuscan Grill over there at the International Plaza Mall. Just a great restaurant to go visit. If you haven't been there, go check them out. And if you have, you know what I'm talking about. What's your favorite dish?
Ooh, I would have to say the lamb chops.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites, too, man.
Absolutely. I'm so spoiled with Chef Oscar being there. I mean, he cooks for me constantly. So, unfortunately, my waistline isn't really appreciating that right now. But it's great. He and his team, fantastic. Our front of house team as well. Worked for Joey, great boss.
Yeah.
And so, we always try to provide that extra sort of comfort, the culture of the restaurant. We try to take care of everybody. To make it as inviting as we possibly can to keep repeat customers. We love seeing people over and over again. We love that they enjoy the style of food and cuisine. And, we'd love to have everybody in and check us out.
Yeah, man. Great. Go and visit Bryan. Say hello. He's the assistant general manager. You can say hello to Chef Oscar as well. Let him know you heard about him here on the show. You got new brunch items out also.
Yes, so they are rolling out a new brunch menu relatively soon. They haven't given me an exact date yet, but some of the new items are going to be, of course, breakfast related. We also are adding on our happy hour burger with a fried egg on it. So it's a little bit different take, but breakfast burger type of thing. Yeah. So that should be a big seller for us. So, and we're also doing it Saturday and Sunday, where as of right now it's only on Sunday. We've got bottomless mimosas as well. That's gonna be a nice draw. So everybody should come in and check it out.
What's the times and like the price and stuff on the brunch?
So the brunch varies. When they get the new menu out, I can definitely let everybody know. If they call into the restaurant, we'll have some flyers out.
But it's Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's gonna be Saturday as well as Sunday.
And then start times?
So it's until 3. So open at 11 through 3.
Nice.
Yeah, so everybody can come in, try something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then also we have our normal lunch menus and dinner menus available.
Might have to hit it up this weekend, man.
I love it, man. Brio
Yeah,
Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall, great location, close to the airport, close to everything in Tampa there. And you've got just a very friendly wait staff. The food is impeccable. Chef Oscar, talk a little bit about Chef Oscar back there, man. It's got to be inspiring watching him work.
It is. I came from a back of house kind of background, actually, and just watching him work, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
He works wonders. I swear he could cook anything that you ever asked him to. So, again, very spoiled. So, yeah, it's great to work with him. He has a great team. They're very cohesive, work well together.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Again, with the culture of the restaurant, it's nice having coworkers and a staff that really brings it all together.
Yeah, that's right. Support the local economy, support the local restaurants here by supporting Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Bryan, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, buddy. All right, hey, another great show. We had Ron Fuller, Tri-County Metals, and, of course, Frank Miranda on the program as well, and Alex BlackBelt Lima in studio with us. Thanks to Yumiko as well, producing the show, and all the team here at Salem. They do a great job. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes.